Cereal is one of the staple breakfast foods. We generally judge it based on how healthy it is, how sugary it is, or how colorful it is. And those last two attributes are sometimes found in the same cereals. While the healthy option gives us a reason to eat the cereal without feeling bad about ourselves, the alluring colors of a cereal mascot may be needed to get the more health-conscious customer's attention for the less nutritious choices. They are additionally needed to get a child's attention, but over time, kid or adult, some of them just become icons or nostalgic to us. And come on, don't we all have at least one cereal mascot we like? Yes? Maybe? No? Isn't breakfast boring without one of them gracing your boxes? The ones without mascots just have no soul, no personality. Basic 4, more like basic bore, except that cereal falls under the healthy category, so never mind. But there are those cereal mascots that just, for whatever reason, are replaced or flat out eliminated. So I'm going to take a look at those cereal mascots of yesteryear. Any cereal mascots that we don't see around anymore for cereals that still exist are fair game. So let's count down the top 10 defunct cereal mascots. Number 10. Katie Kangaroo for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. When Kellogg's Frosted Flakes was first introduced, they seemed to know that Tony the Tiger was their guy. However, every good plan has a backup, so Kellogg's created a few alternative mascots to platoon with Tony and find the true champion of the mascots. The challengers were a kangaroo named Katie and then an elephant and a newt that don't matter since they were never used. Tony was ultimately considered the best choice, and looking back, that kangaroo was destined to lose. However, the fact that the kangaroo got a chance to appear on the box for a brief period of time demonstrates that she was good enough to be shown off to the public, even if she was immediately removed. It's like making the playoffs and then getting blown out in the first game, but at least you can say you made the playoffs, which is better than nothing at all. At least Katie can say she was on a box of Frosted Flakes for a period of time. I don't know what she's up to now. I think her son advertises Dunkaroos or something. Number 9. The Crazy Craver from Honeycomb. I never really liked this guy because something about him did not sit quite right with me. He generally appeared in commercials where some person had a craving for honeycomb cereal, and then that person turned into the craver. In a way, wouldn't this discourage us from ever wanting honeycomb cereal, because if we started to crave it, we'd turn into this thing? He apparently was discontinued because he was too creepy for the kids. And you know what? I can see that. Mostly when you pause the commercial right in the middle of the transformation into the craver. That'll creep you out. This guy should have been on that creepy mascot list I did. He looks like drinking buddies with those guys. Number 8. Cornelius W. Sugarcoat for Post-Sugar-Coated Cornflakes. I like that this cereal explicitly defines itself in its name and gets straight to the point, so you know you're eating a product covered in sugar. It's probably been renamed in modern times because cereals don't like to have the word sugar in their name, but anyway, to the mascot. Excellent! A living ear of corn that has corn hair. He's also got a crazy name that's sort of a pun. It kind of just describes him. Cornelius, since it's cornflakes, and his last name is Sugarcoat, which is as self-explanatory as the first name. I like Post's logic for making this mascot. Let's just take the ear of corn on the regular Post Cornflakes box, give him a face, and cover him in sugar. At least that's what I'm assuming those sparkles are for. By that logic, shouldn't Kellogg's have just taken its rooster mascot for its cornflakes and covered it in sugar instead of just going to a tiger? I don't know. Number 7. Waldo the Wizard for Lucky Charms. This guy clearly likes Lucky Charms, and not just because he's on the box. Look at those patterns on his robe and hat. He really likes those marshmallow shapes. He also looks like he's really willing to help you out with your breakfast. Like, you want a new marshmallow, kid? Here you go. And I made it bigger than the others so you can enjoy it twice as much. But that's more than twice the size of the other marshmallows. Twice as much. And look at this bow tie. He was dressed with class. Was he also like the CEO or some higher-up executive in the company? Like, if there was a photo shoot for the box, did he then just take off his robe and hat when it was done and go straight into a board meeting? He is much more well-dressed than the other mascots I've seen for cereal. Some of them don't even put on pants, but Waldo, he takes that extra step to put on a suit. Number 6. The Postman for Post-Alphabets cereal. This guy seemed like a friendly fellow. He was just called the Postman, I believe, since Post is the brand name of the cereal. However, if he really was the postman of this neighborhood, as in the actual mailman, then Alphabets had some pretty convincing ads at the time, considering everyone in the neighborhood was having Alphabet cereal delivered to their door. However, if he is not the real mailman like I originally stated, then that idea is invalid. He was later replaced by a thinner postman with the name Lovable Truly. Lovable Truly. Alright, is that a name or is that a description? It's certainly not a pun. Like, Postman was a pun. Lovable Truly, I've never heard a name like that. Even if his first name is Truly and he's actually just a lovable guy. It doesn't make any sense. I shouldn't look into this. You know, the first guy I mentioned, the Postman, yeah, I liked him better. He's got a look I can trust, but the second guy at least deserved a shout out because they're both out of work today. Number 5, the Mini Wheat Splits guy for Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats. This was a king-size frosted mini wheat piece with a personality for each side of it. The frosted side was the fun, slick-talking personality, and the unfrosted side was the refined personality. What crazy arguments could these two get into? They mostly just involved which side was better, the frosted side or the unfrosted side. I mean, isn't the frosted side always the better side? I know the unfrosted side was supposed to represent the whole grains of the cereal, but the frosted side clearly had that too, just under a layer of sugar. You know that people can just eat the pieces in one bite. This argument is actually irrelevant. This is why you guys were replaced by that really friendly piece of cereal. I mean really friendly, like you could never get into an argument with that mascot. Have you seen the commercials with this guy? He's that type of friendly. Number 4, Little Mikey for Life cereal. This was a kid who was so picky, if he ever liked some food, it must mean that food is superb. However, there's a major flaw in this marketing campaign. What if little Mikey just had the worst opinions on food? I mean, what has he not liked in the past? The commercials never told us. Give me some examples. Pizza? Apples? Kids love those things. Maybe this actually delegitimizes Life cereal, since the kid that hates normal food will only eat Life cereal, meaning that if you like normal food, you might not like Life cereal. What is the definition of normal food anyway? After Little Mikey's exit, Life cereal just started putting random kids on the front of the box without any mascot identity. This box doesn't even have a kid on the front, and this one, it didn't even have cereal inside. It was just a bunch of bland-tasting plastic pieces. Number 3, Chip the Dog for Cookie Crisp. Part of the crime duo with Cookie Crook, chased by Officer Crumb, this dog was constantly getting caught in the act of stealing Cookie Crisp. However, the dog was never really a bad guy in the end. He eventually split off and became the sole mascot for the cereal. He even shaved off that peach fuzz mustache and removed the mask. It's kinda sad when you overanalyze it. The dog just wanted to legitimately eat Cookie Crisp, but his only way near it initially was with a robber that wasn't even good at robberies. So the dog got arrested with the crook and never obtained the cereal he desired. If you don't want a tragic backstory, I guess the company just wanted the dog to become the sole mascot, so they rebranded. See? Isn't it more boring and realistic that way? Number 2 is Wendell from Cinnamon Toast Crunch and the other Toast Crunch varieties. This guy constantly got the shaft when it came to relevant General Mills cereal mascots when he was in his prime. First, he was with these 2 other bakers that no one remembers before he got his big break as the solo mascot, considering that his face, I guess, was more marketable, or he was more popular than the other 2, or something of that nature. As soon as that happened, his speaking roles in commercials slowly diminished until he was just featured on the box as his only role for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, in that teeny tiny corner, holding whatever food was related to the Toast Crunch variety. He was then replaced by these cannibalistic pieces of cereal who, as the name would suggest, try to eat each other. Technically, he was never fully eliminated since I can still find him on the boxes of the lesser Toast Crunch varieties like Frosted Toast Crunch. Anyone know that existed? It's not the main cereal, so it's like he's defunct anyway, which is why he deserved a spot on this list. He couldn't get the top spot though because he's actually on the side of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch box, or at least some of them. But it's like how the California Raisin characters are on the side of the Sun-Made raisin boxes. They may still be the mascots of the past that are represented today, but we all know the Sun-Made Raisin Girl reigns supreme with that brand. Wendell did so much for this cereal only to be brushed off to the side. Look at all the work he did. He put maple syrup on each individual piece of French Toast Crunch. That may have been a very inefficient method, but I doubt Wendell came up with that idea alone. Is that ineffective method the reason French Toast Crunch took an 8-year hiatus? Because one man was covering each piece? He did his job right. But did the advertisers show him mercy? Does this look like the face of mercy to you? Could Wendell not see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch anymore? Is that why he was demoted to being the guy on the side of the box? He used to be your #1 Cinnamon Toast Crunch, kinda like how this next mascot is my #1. Sometimes, there's just that character that catches your eye. And while some of these mascots have personality in commercials, first and foremost, the cereal mascot must get the customer's attention visually on the box. And while looking at old mascots, this guy really caught my eye. He's the mascot for Kellogg's Corn Flakes with Bananas. By description, he may sound generic, a living banana. However, there's something I love about the look of this guy, more so than that living ear of corn I spoke about earlier. He looks so happy to be pouring that cereal into the bowl, even though he's advertising something with banana slices, which is technically cannibalism for him. I also like that the peel acts as his arms, yet his face is clearly on the inside part of the banana. So did that mean his face was stuck inside of his body until someone came along and unpeeled him? You know, if you look at the Mario Kart banana peels, their faces are clearly on the outside, so is this analysis even relevant? Another thing is that his nose looks like the top piece of a banana sliced off, so does that mean he had to cut off the top part of his skull just for the sake of having a nose and wearing that stylish hat? To further this theory, I'm assuming that hat would not stay on unless the top of his head was completely flat, which can only be obtained by cutting off that top piece. I don't think this guy ever appeared outside the 1960s, since Kellogg's kinda just adds bananas to their cornflakes now and does not enlist a completely different mascot. It really doesn't matter, this guy's look got him to #1 of this list of defunct cereal mascots. So, are there any mascots from cereal you don't see around anymore? Let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.